This is brought to you by the Location 1 Building, 1734 East 63rd Street. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself.
Hello and welcome to Connecting KC on Cascade TV. My name is Carl Boyd, representing Cascade TV with a very important, very serious program. And in our series, we have our subtitles for the programs that are important to us. This one is I Am a Witness segment. We have a very special guest this afternoon, Brother Chris Taylor. Cannot express our sincere regret enough for what you are about to share with us. Cannot thank you enough for your courage and your willingness to be with us on Connecting KC. Please introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Christmas Taylor. I am 44 years old. I've been in the Kansas City area for about 2 years. And I was driving down an area that I typically don't go down. I was going to help a friend. And so my stepson and we had some time to get to the destination. So I went down roads that I typically don't go down. And this was particularly Oldham and East Gregory Boulevard. And as I was pulling off from the stoplight, a car pulled up next to me on the right where my stepson was sitting in the back passenger seat. And the other vehicle got a little close to our car. So I kind of took off a little bit, and then the vehicle sped up and it caught up with us. And I think that the individual, and I'm assuming, but I think that he thought that I was taunting him in some way, because I can't explain why an individual would just automatically brandish a firearm and begin shooting at myself and my stepson. And when it initially happened, I did not know what was going on. I mean, I had never heard gunshots being fired at me before, and so that was a new experience for me. I did not know that we were being fired at until my stepson, when he leaned forward, and after I told him to duck, he leaned forward, and I heard this clacking sound that took place on the side that he was at. And actually, that's when I told him to duck, and that's when I took off.
Yes,
and the individual shot at us at 5 different times when we tried to flee from him. And the only thing that I could remember was, I wonder if I told him that I had a child in the car, would he stop?
Please, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but one of the first things we want to know is your stepson's condition and his age.
Okay, my stepson is 12, and
oh boy,
his condition is when the bullet went into one part of his back and out the other, so it went through him. Obviously, the doctor says that if he hadn't ducked, then it very likely could have hit a kidney. And so that conversation obviously would be very different today if it had been millimeters either to the left or to the right. But he is taken us very well, actually. For a 12-year-old, he's obviously very resilient. Never been in anything like this before, but he seems to be very resilient and is covered very well. Last night, he did express some fear of going out with me, going places, because this individual's still out there and we have no idea where he's at.
Yes, sir. One of the things that we so appreciate in your appearing with us this afternoon is that you have attorney counsel. We won't broach anything that is prohibitive, but one of the things that we would like to hear from you is what you would like for the community to do to help your situation.
Okay. Well, obviously, the biggest thing that I would like the community to do is, if you know anything that took place in that area, this was on Easter Sunday around 6 o'clock, and 5 shots. If there was anybody around, they would have heard it. And if you have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers, and please help us find this individual. Because again, if he did that to us and it was a simple matter of road rage, I can't imagine what else could happen if this individual is not caught. And I need to also qualify that too, because this experience has really challenged me in several ways. At one time I was incarcerated. And so looking at this from that perspective, it's daunting for me because I'm going against something that has been instilled in me when I went into prison at a very young age. And so now I'm having to overcome all that conditioning to survive in order to be able to survive out here in a free world.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind is having had that experience of those whom I know who have indeed spent some time are very helpful now based upon the authenticity of your experience, attempting to prevent, for instance, a 12-year-old from having the same kind of experience you have had.
Right.
What are some of those things that you want to make sure don't befall, for instance, a nephew having to face something like this at 12 years old, and the rest of us in the community who can do something that you feel is important?
Right. So, and asking the community obviously for that, then I have to overcome my own mindsets and that enculturation that I had when I was incarcerated, because at the end of the day, it's about an innocent 12-year-old boy that was shot. And despite how we might feel about it, as far as what we feel about the police, or despite that, the fact that a 12-year-old boy was shot through no fault of his own, he had no control of the vehicle, he had no control over what happened other than the fact that he's sitting in the back seat hoping that he survives that. And it's amazing to me that people would be so violent so quickly in today's society. I just don't understand that. I don't understand that.
Let me tell you why I am so impressed with you, Chris Taylor. After witnessing your 12-year-old stepson being shot in a situation of road rage, especially considering those you've encountered in having been incarcerated, one of the first things they think, and particularly about our community, is that we want revenge.
Right.
And I so appreciate your reaching out to Crime Stoppers, to the community, to say, let's do this right.
Yes. We have to. If we continue to do the same bad things that we were doing before, as for retribution, for revenge, it keeps a cycle going. And unfortunately, that cycle is, I believe, what causes so many of us to go into prison in the first place.
Yes.
Because we choose to handle it as men, or as some antiquated notion of machismo. And so if we can come together as a community, and if we have the ability to connect with one another on our basic humanness, then I believe that people would be more interested in saving lives instead of being interested in taking each other's lives, whether it be for turf, whether it be for drugs, or somebody just being upset because somebody crossed into their lane. Is my life, is my son's life worth taking because we accidentally, or I accidentally drove into another person's lane? So I'm hoping that people would see that being as senseless situation, and that they would call in to Crime Stoppers and let's get this guy off the street, because if it happens to us, I guarantee it could happen to somebody else.
Without
and
a doubt.
perhaps he would not be so lucky.
Do you have any descriptions to share with us as far as make and model of car, number of people in the car, description of the person, any at all?
Now that I don't know if I'm allowed to actually reveal at this time. It's still
Okay.
an ongoing investigation.
Please, don't let me broach any topic that has not been cleared properly.
Okay. Yeah.
But
As of right now, yeah, it's still an ongoing investigation.
absolutely. But there is something that I would like to hear from Chris Taylor. And
Yes,
that is, if we as a community could help to console that 12-year-old stepson, would you want someone to contact an entity with which you are affiliated? Or how can we best make better something that is pretty awful at this time?
Well, that's a very difficult question. He has autism. He's a high-functioning autistic child.
Mm-hmm.
And so his social, him interacting with other individuals, he's really shy in that regard. So we have therapy for him already for his autism. So, and because this is so brand new,
Yes,
we don't yet know what traumatic scars have been created or has been left behind. So as of right now, I don't know what that would look like with people coming to consult. But my wife, I know that she would be very interested in speaking with other parents who've been through a situation like this, because neither one knows how to go forward with an incident such as this.
Well, one of the things that we can certainly promise to a gentleman who is 2 years a citizen of our community is that we will engage organizations who encounter and confront such situations. One of the things that we have seen because of the coronavirus pandemic is our being able to communicate with each other in alternative ways, right, so that it would not beg for personal contact, but perhaps just a letter, some feeling of the sympathy that I know that reigns. And here at Connecting KC on Cascade TV, we will make every attempt to make those resources available to you and your wife.
We would really appreciate that. We would really appreciate that. My stepson would really appreciate that as well. We have been going through some particular hardships because of the COVID-19.
Yes, sir.
And then obviously, as well as having a conviction, it's been real difficult to find that kind of employment. So I went and started my own business so that I can help employ other people. But with regards to my stepson, I think that it would be very beneficial to him if something could be set up through a Zoom conference. I think that would be.
Ooh, outstanding. The other thing is, and this is totally up to you, from our perspective, appreciating so much that you reached out to Cascade TV, we would have no issue with your, quote, advertising, unquote, if you will, the business that you have started, if you are comfortable with sharing any information about that.
Certainly. So when the coronavirus hit, I was very curious why some people were recovering and other individuals were passing away. And I started looking at the underlying lifestyle choices that people were making. So I'm very fit, I work out, and I'm not very athletic. So what I did, I created a business called Dance Fu, and it's dance fun.
Yes, sir.
And so moving your body, freeing your mind, and it's working out without working out. And so I teach people basically how to have fun with exercising. and that's called Dance Fu. Move your body, move your mind, and it's helping you be a better you. That's really what I wanted to contribute to Kansas City, that, and I do video editing, videography. So occasionally I will, with my dog, we'll go out and we'll walk, and I'll take pictures and I'll make them into video and I'll post on my YouTube channel.
Go ahead, please.
And I was just saying, my whole, I want to help people.
Yes, sir.
And Dance Fu is my contribution to Kansas City to be able to help people.
I want to say, and by the way, is that the contact Dance Fu?
You should be able to find it under Crispus Taylor on YouTube.
Okay. What I wanted to say to you, so that if it just happens that somebody just tuned in and did not hear the beginning of the interview,
Yes, sir.
this is not a matter of advertising Dance Fu. To me, this is a matter of strength, that you are able to overcome the lifestyle that you had been exposed to some time ago. And here we are in the midst of a true tragedy, the blessing being that it is not worse than it might have been. And we have you to call upon to yet be able to help us find a way through this pandemic, exercising our body, our mind, our psychology, and our unity through you. Cannot thank you enough for that courage.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You are more than welcome. And by the way, want you at any point you feel it appropriate to contact us, and want to ask that you allow us to put people in touch with you because of your spirit. And again, thank you so much for not being vindictive, but helping to bring the community together. And we must be a witness in your behalf and send love to your family and your stepson in particular.
We very much appreciate that. We welcome it with open arms. Kansas City, despite what happened,
Yes,
is
sir.
a very beautiful community. And so, thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris Taylor. This is Connecting KC on Cascade TV, having the opportunity, as a matter of fact, having the privilege of hearing from Chris Taylor, Easter Sunday, 12-year-old stepson, the victim of road rage, and was actually shot by a person who obviously did not control themselves very well, appealing to the community for whatever we might have seen and know about that. And in your behalf, we make that appeal. And in our behalf, thank you very much.
So again,
Thank you.
as I end, let me say this twice. No more silence. I need you to get this. I am not a snitch. I am a witness. No more silence. I need you to get this. I am not a snitch. I'm a witness.